The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. The Philippine Statistics Authority is reporting inflation data for the month of May. Let's listen in.
Sa antas na 6.1% nitong Mayo 2023. Noong Abril 2023, ang inflation ay naitala sa antas na 6.6% at 5.4% naman noong Mayo 2022. Ang average inflation mula Enero hanggang Mayo 2023 ay nasa antas na 7.5%. Ang pangunahing dahilan ng pagbagal ng antas ng inflation nitong Mayo 2023 kaysa noong Abril 2023 ay ang mas mabagal na paggalaw ng presyo ng transport. Ito ay may negative 0.5% inflation at 55.3% share sa pagbaba ng pangkalatang inflation sa bansa. Ang nag-ambag ng malaki sa pagbaba ng inflation ng transport ay ang mas mabilis na pagbaba ng presyo ng mga sumusunod. Gasolina na may negative 18.5% inflation mula sa negative 11% inflation noong Abril 2023 at diesel na may negative 27.6% inflation mula sa negative 20% inflation noong Abril 2023. Nakambag din ang other passenger transport by road gaya ng pamasahe sa tricycle na may 13.4% inflation mula sa 14.1% inflation noong Abril 2023. Ang pangalawang nag-ambag sa pagbagal ng antas ng inflation ay ang mas mabagal na paggalaw ng presyo ng food and non-alcoholic beverages na may 7.4% inflation at 37.3% share sa pagbaba ng pangkalatang inflation sa bansa nitong Mayo 2023. Ang nag-ambag ng malaki sa pagbaba ng inflation ng food and non-alcoholic beverages ay ang pagbaba ng presyo ng mga sumusunod. Fish and other seafood gaya ng dilis na may 5% inflation mula sa 7% inflation ng Abril 2023. Meat and other parts of slaughtered land animals tulad ng manok na may 3.2% inflation mula sa 4.2% inflation ng Abril 2023 at milk, other dairy products, and eggs gaya ng itlog na may 12.1% inflation mula sa 13% inflation ng Abril 2023. Ang pangatlong nag-ambag sa pagbagal ng antas ng inflation ay ang mas mabagal na paggalaw ng presyo ng restaurants and accommodation services na may 8.3% inflation at 5.7% share sa pagbaba ng pangkalatang inflation sa bansa nitong Mayo 2023. Ito ay dahil sa pagbagal ng pagtaas ng presyo ng restaurants, cafe, and the like na may 8.3% inflation mula sa 8.6% inflation noong Abril 2023. Pagdating naman sa overall inflation nitong Mayo 2023, ang pangunahing nag-ambag ay ang food and non-alcoholic beverages na may 7.4% inflation at 46% share. Ang mga pangkat ng pagkain na pangunahing nag-ambag sa inflation ng food and non-alcoholic beverages ay ang mga sumusunod. Cereals and cereal products gaya ng bigas na may 5.7% inflation. Vegetables, tubers, cooking bananas at iba pa gaya ng sibuyas na may 12.6% inflation. Ang sibuyas ay nagpakita ng pagtaas ng presyo nitong Mayo 2023 matapos ang pagbaba simula Pebrero 2023. Milk, other dairy products, and eggs tulad ng itlog na may 12.1% inflation. Ang pangalawang commodity group na may pinakamalaking ambag sa pangkalatang inflation nitong Mayo 2023 ay ang housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels na may inflation na 6.5% at 22.9% share sa pangkalatang inflation. Ang mga pangunahing nag-ambag sa inflation ng housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels ay ang mga sumusunod. Renta sa bahay na may 5.6% inflation. Kuryente na may 13.6% inflation. At bayad para sa supply ng tubig na may 11.9% inflation. Ang restaurants and accommodation services ang ikatlo sa may pinakamalaking ambag sa pangkalat ng inflation nitong Mayo 2023. Ang commodity group na ito ay nagtala ng 8.3% inflation at 13.1% share. Ang pangunahing nag-ambag sa inflation ng restaurants and accommodation services ay ang restaurant, cafe, and the like na may 8.3% inflation. Sa 13 commodity groups, 4 ang nagpakita ng pagtaas ng presyo ngunit sa mas mabagal na antas nitong Mayo 2023. Ito ay ang mga sumusunod: food and non-alcoholic beverages na may 7.4% inflation. Alcoholic beverages and tobacco na may 12.3% inflation. Transport na may negative 0.5% inflation. At restaurants and accommodation services na may 8.3% inflation. Samantala, nagtala ng mas mabilis ang pagtaas ng presyo nitong Mayo 2023 ang furnishings, household equipment, and routine household maintenance na may 6.2% inflation at ang recreation, sport, and culture na may 4.9% inflation. Nanatili naman sa kanilang antas ng inflation noong Abril 2023 ang mga sumusunod: clothing and footwear na may 5.1% inflation, housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels na may 6.5% inflation, health na may 4.1% inflation, information and communication na may 0.7% inflation, education services na may 3.6% inflation, financial services na may 0% inflation, at personal care and miscellaneous goods and services na may 5.7% inflation. Samantala, ang core inflation sa bansa ay bumagal sa antas na 7.7% nitong Mayo 2023. Noong Abril 2023, ang core inflation ay naitala sa 7.9% at 2.8% naman noong Mayo 2022. Pagdating naman sa National Capital Region, ang headline inflation nitong Mayo 2023 ay bumagal sa antas na 6.5%. Noong Abril 2023, ito ay naitala sa antas na 7.1% at 4.7% naman noong Mayo 2022. Ang pangunahing dahilan ng pagbagal ng antas ng inflation sa National Capital Region ay ang mas mabagal na paggalaw ng presyo ng transport na may 1.1% inflation at 35.4% share sa pagbagal ng inflation nitong Mayo 2023. Ito ay dahil sa mas mabilis na pagbaba ng presyo ng gasolina na may negative 19.9% inflation mula sa negative 9.8% inflation noong Abril 2023 at diesel na may negative 28.7% inflation mula sa negative 20.5% inflation noong Abril 2023. Ang pangalawang commodity group na nag-ambag sa pagbagal ng antas ng inflation sa National Capital Region ay ang restaurants and accommodation services na may 9.5% inflation at 33.4% share sa pagbaba ng inflation nitong Mayo 2023. Ang nag-ambag ng malaki sa pagbaba ng inflation ng restaurants and accommodation services ay ang mas mabagal na pagtaas ng presyo ng restaurants, cafe, and the like na may 9.6% inflation mula sa 11.4% inflation noong Abril 2023. Ang pangatlong commodity group na nag-ambag sa pagbagal ng antas ng inflation sa National Capital Region ay ang food and non-alcoholic beverages na may 7.6% inflation at 28.2% share sa pagbaba ng inflation nitong Mayo 2023. Ito ay dahil sa mas mabagal na pagtaas ng presyo ng mga sumusunod: milk, other dairy products, and eggs, partikular ang itlog na may 11.3% inflation mula sa 14.2% inflation noong Abril 2023. Fish and other seafood tulad ng dilis na may 4.6% inflation mula sa 6.1% inflation noong Abril 2023. At meat and other parts of slaughtered land animals tulad ng baboy na may 2.4% inflation mula sa 3.3% inflation noong Abril 2023. Sa mga pangkat ng pagkain sa National Capital Region, nagpakita ng mas mabagal na pagtaas ng presyo nitong Mayo 2023 ang mga sumusunod: flour, bread, and other bakery products, pasta products, and other cereals na may 12% inflation. Meat and other parts of slaughtered land animals tulad ng baboy na may 2.4% inflation. Fish and other seafood gaya ng dilis na may 4.6% inflation. Milk, other dairy products, and eggs gaya ng itlog na may 11.3% inflation. Oils and fats gaya ng cooking oil na may 11.4% inflation. Sugar, confectionery, and desserts gaya ng refined sugar na may 25.7% inflation. At ready-made food and other food products not elsewhere classified tulad ng infant formula na may 11.3% inflation. Samantala, nagpakita naman ng mas mabilis na pagtaas ng presyo ang mga sumusunod na pangkat ng pagkain sa National Capital Region. Bigas na may 1.3% inflation. Mais na may 20.8% inflation. Fruits and nuts tulad ng mangga na may 26.4% inflation. At vegetables, tubers, cooking bananas at iba pa gaya ng sibuyas na may 15.4% inflation. Sa mga lugar sa labas ng National Capital Region, ang inflation nitong Mayo 2023 ay bumagal sa antas na 6%. Noong Abril 2023, ito ay naitala sa antas na 6.5% at 5.5% naman noong Mayo 2022.
You just heard the inflation report for the month of May. The consumer price index eased further last month. That's at 6.1% from 6.6% in April. Inflation has been on a downward trend since the 8.6% print recorded in January. This brings the year-to-date inflation to 7.5%. The PSA said the downward trend in headline inflation was primarily due to the decline in the transport index. Lower inflation rates were also recorded in the heavily weighted food and non-alcoholic beverages basket. Core inflation for May also saw a decrease, that's at 7.7% from 7.9% in April. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines said airplanes are not allowed to fly within 10,000 feet from the surface of the Mayon and Taal volcanoes. CAAP advised pilots to avoid flying close to the summits as ash from sudden phreatic eruptions can be hazardous. PHIVOLCS noted an increase in rockfall from the lava dome of Mayon, which is now under alert level 2. Over in Taal volcano, which remains under alert level 1, continuous degassing has been observed.
Practically very quiet, nagkaroon tayo ng volcanic tremor. And this coincided with, several days of slight increase in SO2. So we might, we hope na hindi, but we might see another trend of unrest kasi. Pwede tayong magkaroon ng, similar to the 2021 events, for several months na seismic unrest. And then in July 1, 2021, nagkaroon tayo ng phreatomagmatic eruption sa Taal Main Crater.
PLDT announces that their customers' internet connection has been restored. That's on the back of their submarine cable partner confirming that it has supplemented additional bandwidth capacity. The telco giant is now advising their users to refresh their connections by restarting their routers. On Monday, customers reported slow internet browsing, which PLDT said is due to connection issues reported by one of their submarine cable partners. Some customers reported having encountered issues accessing Google services like Gmail and YouTube. Last year, PLDT announced that it has invested around 4.4 billion pesos to expand its international capacity by laying down a 9,400-kilometer subsea cable traversing East and Southeast Asia. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again at 9:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I am Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.